What a terrible start to a video. Excuse me. Terrible start to a video. I won't even edit that out. What I meant to say before a tune, a locket got stuck in my throat, was West Ham is a gift that keeps on giving. Just when you think you're going to run out of things to say, up pops another story and another one. I wasn't thinking about what to talk about on this lunchtime video. It was what I had to leave out. So we got lots. We have got the FA Cup draw. That's interesting. That's juicy. Then we have got Stuart Pearce, David Moyes, and David Sullivan, a sort of threesome. Actually, no, that's quite disgusting. None of that is going on at all. How can I phrase that better? Stuart Pearce can't join David Moyes' backroom team because he said something nasty about David Sullivan. Well, criticised him. So I'm going to talk about that. Last but not least, we got a video sent in by Dave. He's D-Trev. You see him in the chat. He's always in the chat. He sent in his first ever video. And he's talking about Lanzini. He's not Lanzini Fornals. He's not very happy with Lanzini. Bit of a spoiler there. So watch what he's got to say at the end of this video. And then leave your comments underneath. And whether you agree with what he said. Interact with him. That would be nice. That would be nice. Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, we're going to talk about, well, the FA Cup draw. And the Stuart Pearce saga. But before I do, you may well have seen mine and Gio's very, very awkward video last night. It felt dodgy. That video did, I've got to say. But anyway, we've launched a Patreon account in case you missed it. So as you can support the channels, support what Hammers Chat are doing. All that stuff still free for you. All the stuff you currently get, you're going to continue to get. We launched a Patreon account so as you can support us if you feel the need or the wish to do so. If not, don't worry about it. The details are below, and I will link the video, the embarrassing video that we did last night, on the end of this one. So, anyway, FA Cup. I mean, that was written. That was almost written in the stars. Is that what they say? Written in the stars? You couldn't write it. You couldn't script it. Well, it's been done. And I'll tell you what. If there was anything that's going to get David Moyes to put out another strong team in the FA Cup, it's the bragging rights against Slav. I mean, you've got this weird situation where you've got two managers who are both desperate to prove that David Sullivan was wrong to let him go. Obviously, David Moyes is constantly trying to prove that David Sullivan was wrong to let him go, but he's got the job now. Slaven Bilic is coming back with his tail up. His tail up and wagging, may I say. At the London Stadium. He's going to get a warm welcome. I don't even doubt that for a second. I wonder if the song gets sung. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? But he is going to bring a West Brom team along with him who are flying high. Julian Dex comes along as well for good measure. What's the news on Dean Garnett? This would be interesting. I don't know. You may even know this because I'm recording this the night before. So it's Tuesday now. You may well already know whether Dean Garnett is eligible or not. I think that's interesting. I'm going to have a little look here now. But it would be normal standard practice that when you loan a player out, you put it into the contract that he can't feature in the FA Cup for two reasons. Number one, you would have it so as he couldn't play against your team. He can't, so basically Dean Garnett couldn't play against his home club, West Ham. The other one would be in case we desperately needed to recall him, he wouldn't be cup tied. So it's standard procedure. I would imagine Dean Garnett can't play because that would be quite awkward. But it is a really, really good cup tie, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's got the magic of the FA Cup, and it's got echoes of our previous cup run. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch Canning Town Lens film. Just actually go onto Amazon, West Ham film, you'll find it there. Everybody's second team. You've probably watched it already. Loads of you have. But, well, you know what? It might well be written in the stars. It depends if you're superstitious or not. But West Brom, that's a good one. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, if you remember, when David Moyes had his first press conference, they were asking what was going to be the composition of his backroom team. He said that it would be Irvine would be there. McGinley wasn't, Chris Woods wasn't, and they asked about Stuart Pearce. He said, we'd like to get Stuart Pearce along, but it might be difficult. He's got other commitments. We're trying to see what's happening. He's got some stuff with TalkSport. Absolutely fine. I'm going to try and find the exact quote here, by the way. Anyway, Stuart Pearce, when he was actually on TalkSport, he turned round and he said, there's no way that I'm going to go and join West Ham. I can't join West Ham. The owner has ruled it out, meaning David Sullivan. Let me find his exact quotes. Pearce said, no, it won't happen. I think the owners felt that I was a little bit critical of the regime when we left and the last time, and they put a block on it. Basically, last time when they left, Stuart Pearce didn't think that they deserved to have their contract ended. He thought they should have been offered the chance to continue. He thought that David Moyes, Pearcey, Irvine, McGinley, all those people deserved a second chance, deserved another bite. Because they'd finished 13th, they should get the job. They should have got the budget. He didn't think it should have gone to Pellegrini, and he said as much publicly. Now, if you are to believe the story to be true, and I certainly do, why would I not believe Stuart Pearce? He's an honest sort of geezer. He's never lied to me. So he's the person who's... I think I'd take his opinion in this story. So apparently Moyes wanted him to return with him as part of his backroom team. But Sullivan has poo-pooed it. Sullivan said, no, you said that naughty stuff about me. You criticised me when you left, so you're not coming in. You're not getting the job. Smacks a little bit of cutting your nose off to spite your face, may I say, on that one. If Pearce is the best man for the job, I've no idea if he is. I don't know. I like him. He seems like a good bloke. He's good on the radio. I don't know if he's a good second in charge or first team coach or whatever his title might be. But you have to assume that David Moyes thinks he is. So David Moyes might well have wanted Steve Round, who spent a lot of his career with him, but Steve Round has been taken on by Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. So even if Stuart Pearce wasn't David Moyes' first choice, I certainly think it would be fair to say he was his second. So it may well be that David Moyes is either going to have one less person on his backroom staff, or someone of a lesser ability than the person he wants, just because somebody was critical of David Sullivan. Now, what David Sullivan is in essence saying is, do as I say, not as I do. Basically, if you are critical of me, we can't work together again. And I'm going to bring something up on the screen here, which was very astutely pointed out by Phil McDonald, one of our regular posters. Thank you, Phil. Phil says, TalkSport says the board have blocked Psycho coming back because he criticised them for not keeping them up last time. For not keeping them on last time. Come on, Sullivan, show some class. After your comments about Snodgrass, you've got no right to take the moral high ground. Bang on. 8 people have liked that, and I've loved it. And that comment, and I'll tell you what, that comment is absolutely bob on. That really is. If you remember, David Sullivan turned around and said, I should have known Snodgrass was no good. My boys told me not to sign him, he was useless. Pretty much, I paraphrase. Not exactly what he said, but more or less. Yet Snodgrass, even though the guy paying his wages has publicly criticised him, still returns back to the club with his head held high. Some would say he is one of the leaders in the dressing room. Some would say one of the players to carry himself with dignity. Full effort every time he plays. Didn't pass, didn't really make a fuss of it. Came back, got on with his job, went to work. Different standards, of course, you see. So David Sullivan is allowed to criticise Robert Snodgrass and Jose Font, if you remember. I think he was quite critical of Jose Font. I seem to remember. I might be wrong. So David Sullivan is allowed to criticise people and then still work with them. But people aren't allowed to criticise David Sullivan. No, no, no. You can't work alongside him then. Double standards? Most definitely. But I guess that's what you can do if you're the boss. That's what you can do if you're running things. And let's be fair, it is absolutely his football club. Well, whatever. 60% of it, 70%, whatever. A large percentage of it is him. So as I say, it's do as I say, not as I do. But it's not good. It's not good at all. That's my last words on that. I'm going to leave you with Dave now. Dave wants to talk about Lanzini. Well, he's not very impressed, are you, Dave?
Hi everyone, I'm Dave. This is my first video. A bit controversial, but there goes. I want to talk about Lanzini. I've been going West Ham for over 40 years. Love my fan channels, but I know some of you ain't going to like this. Just wondering what the big deal is with Lanzini. I've never been a lover of the guy personally. I don't know what his stats are since he joined West Ham. I would imagine they ain't great. But like, it's everyone on the fan channel seems to, you know, the YouTubers, etc. Everyone loves Lanzini, and I don't quite get it. Why? What's he actually ever achieved? He had that one good season where he got into the Argentina team and then got nobbled. But he's just injury prone all the time, isn't he? And even when he's not, I don't think he's that great. I've just been looking at the stats for Pablo Fornals for the Gillingham game tonight, which I posted on Twitter. And for me, this guy is the real deal. He's getting better every game. Lanzini seems to be getting worse every game. So I don't know what you guys think. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm just getting old, maybe the eyesight's going a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comments. And thanks, Gonzo. See you soon.